For someone that has never done a half marathon, I would seriously recommend not trying anything new the day of the race, like new shoes, changing diet. Those are the two things I think a person should not try, because your feet need to be the most comfortable part of you in walking a marathon or running a marathon or jogging a marathon.
Our morning routine on half marathon day is to make sure to eat our normal meal. Sometimes it can feel like a full stomach, but if you're up, in proper time before your race, then eat what you usually eat, and that makes you run much easier than trying something new on race day.
I wish I knew in advance how much I should pace myself at the early parts of the race. I think there's this tendency at the beginning of all these races to try to go as fast as you can in the first few miles, forgetting that you've got to have some gas in the tank for the last few miles. So pacing yourself is helpful.
For preparation, consistency is key. Even if you don't feel like running that day, it's good to go out and get at least a couple miles in. In race, the biggest key for me, uphills, they seem daunting, but embrace the uphill, shift down a gear like you're on a mountain bike, and push yourself up, and then on the way down, relax a little bit. Sometimes people say, oh, you should embrace the downhill and go for it, which is true to some case, but I'd rather go for it from the uphill and then preserve your energy on the down. That way you're fully set to push up.
So the first thing that I've learned is to pace yourself. Usually when you start the half marathon, everybody is all exuberant and they start off at a fast pace. And if that's not your pace and you're not able to maintain it, it makes the latter half of the race really, really hard. So do you. Walk, run, jog, but do it at your own pace.
So the lesson that I learned from my first half marathon is don't wear cotton socks, because it was a wet, rainy, windy day and my feet got totally soaked. The cotton socks chafed my feet and I was in pain the second half of the run. So get real running socks that wick away the moisture.
Make sure you do your training, and that if I'm a walker on the marathon, so just slow and steady it's true, it wins the race. Just keep the pace you're comfortable with and you'll get through.
But the idea is basically to get yourself prepared before you actually even get into the whole vibe of the race. So I actually lay out my clothes. I know exactly what I'm going to have for breakfast because it's always the same sort of thing. And I'm all set for any kind of weather and so on. For me, probably the most important part about it is to get to the race where you feel relaxed and ready to actually enjoy the race and not feel as if, oh, it's something that I've got to, make a particular time for. I try to put as less stress as I can on the basic event itself, because I just know that the less stress I have, the more my body is actually able to contribute to my energy level. More than likely, you'll find a group of people that are going to have pretty much the same pace as you're going to have. So it's great to just introduce yourself and find, wow, the reason why they came, or all the buddies that they've had there, and it makes the race go a lot faster.
So the morning of, I don't do anything different from any other morning. The morning of is not the time to start experimenting.
Practice would be the main thing. Get out and exercise. It could be for an hour or 2 hours, whatever you're comfortable with, and try to build up your distance and stamina.
You have plenty of time during the training to test out different things, find out what shoes work for you, what shirts work, what apparel works best for you. Try those things out. Try out what you should try for your pre-race meal ahead of time. If you're traveling, it may be hard to exactly replicate that, but I think it's very easy to get sucked into all the stuff at the expo, pre-race expos, that suggest you try these new things or these new shoes and just hold off. And even though somebody tells you this was the best thing for them, I mean, be careful, because that doesn't mean it's going to be the best thing for you.
I
recommend consistency and sticking to your routine. That we show up here every Saturday, we find parking, we know where our shoes are, we wear the same thing, we don't get adventurous. If a peanut butter bagel has been working every Saturday, stick with that kind of thing.
Train. Training is, you'll never get through without training. Train, enjoy yourself.
Never starting the race trying to keep up with the crowd around you. Ease up, do what you normally do so you have a little, oomph left to finish the run, because those last 2 miles are always very brutal.
It's easy to get out and walk on a Saturday, but most of the real work is done during the weekday when you're not working great. So you need to be consistent in your walking, and that will prepare you the best way for the half marathon. I would say also that you shouldn't be discouraged by rain, because during the half marathon it may be raining and you have to be prepared. So you have to know what that's as far as the half marathon goes and doing the half marathon, I guess it's possible. I mean, that's the most important thing that I found out, that it's actually possible for somebody with a transplant and somebody who has not had a transplant, for that matter. Anybody can do a half marathon, but the older you get, the more training it takes.